So if you're, if you do have kids and you do have a wife, then the fact that everything's bullshit really doesn't matter quite as much to you, because you've put yourself inside of the keep all hands inside of the roller coaster at all times. Like, you're already inside of the thing enough, at least, to sort of just be able to close your eyes and not care about. I guess maybe it just doesn't feel like you're wasting time like it did before, doing whatever you're doing. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like when you're a single guy, any time spent anywhere is very, like, it has to justify itself. Like, it has to be justifiable to you because really, maybe that's what underrides it, is that, like, you feel like you're, like, what's the reward? What is the reward going to be? Versus if you've had kids and you've gotten married and you've sort of put your flag in the ground, so to speak, then that is your reward. You already got your reward. So it's not as important to you that what you're doing on a day-to-day basis matters. It literally doesn't matter to you that it doesn't matter. Because you've already gotten your piece of the pie. Like, you have it now, so it doesn't bother you as much to go throw 10 more hours away at nothing. Because, hey, if that's the trade-off, well, so what? At least you have your you have what's yours. You got yours. And this thing that you're doing over here for 8 to 10 hours a day, it could really be anything. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's all relative. Nothing really matters. Well, one thing matters is that you get you get your biological imperative needs met. Meaning you've procreated. And but once that's done, what the fuck does it matter? It doesn't matter. Once that's done, you might as well go be picking out picking out grains of sand out of the gutter for fucking 10 hours a day. Like, who cares? And that's the thing, they try to, like, once you're on that side of it, then they try to come back to the guys that aren't on that side of it and convince them that also they should be okay with picking out grains of sand out of the gutter for 10 hours a day. that's the mature way to think about work, because they are content doing that. But the only reason they're content doing that is because they've already completed the life mission of getting married and having kids and stuff. So of course they're okay with it, but it's not because of them being okay with it by itself. It's only because they have these extra things on the side, this extra meaning in their life. It's only because that exists in their life that they find it okay to do some stupid, meaningless job day in and day out. It's only because of that that's okay. It's not as if, it doesn't stand on its own. But they'll try to convince you that it does stand on its own, that anybody should just be willing to, you ought to be willing to just suffer for the sake of suffering and throw away time, throw away more of your life just for the sake of, there's no real reason for it. There's no, it's just supposed to be self-justified. There's not really a reason they give. It's always just, you just ought to, because of this, Protestant work ethic thing where you ought to just suffer. You ought to just always be working, even if that work is just, you might as well be banging your head against the wall all day long. Well, then you just ought to bang your head against the wall all day long, because that's just the way it ought to be. So, I wish I had another string. If I could go back in time and do things differently, I would say that the only thing you have to do. See, my whole thing was, trying to set myself up responsibly as a provider first. Trying to go to school, trying to finish school and wind up in a spot where I could be a provider for somebody. Not have to struggle and not have to bounce from job to job to job, while I got this girl with me, wondering are we gonna be okay? What are you doing? Or I didn't want to have that, and I didn't want to have to be working some shitty job. On top of that, I didn't want to have to be working some shitty job that would keep me discontented, and have that discontent in myself poison the relationship, or poison my ability to be there and be present and just a decent person to be around. So I was trying to set up everything ahead of time, thinking, if I just go to school and I just get my degree, do the responsible track, whatever. I wish I would have had a clearer plan, but I still don't have a clear plan. I mean, I tried to go to law school, but that shit is more about being likable and being a salesperson more than it is about, anything else. Being this like smile in your face type of person. Done, let's do it. Booked. Got it. Or done. Let's do it. Done, let's do it. I got you booked now. How do I say this? Done, let's do it. Done, let's do it. I don't know, but I'm not good at talking. Anyways. Yeah, and that was always my idea. It was like, well, don't I mean, it was a combination of things. It was like, it's not like I wouldn't have gotten with someone early had I met that person. But I really just didn't. I didn't meet that person, and I in general, I had a hard time relating to people, even my own age. There were a lot of like social trends and things that just really turned me off. Like youth culture basically really, really turned me off. And so I didn't really play along. And that's probably did contribute to why I couldn't find somebody. I wasn't a dick. I wasn't a dick to people. But I didn't play along with the whole, like, fratty. Like, I wasn't, like, a weird, moody hipster. There's, like a handful of personas that you were allowed to have. And I just didn't have any of those. I didn't fit into any of those. It was just a whole lot of people taking themselves way too seriously. You had like the hipster, moody hipster person. And then you had like the fratty, sports-loving, country-ish personas, but also like Blair's hip-hop in their pickup truck type of thing. That wasn't me either. I mean, I'm more of like a alternative rock 90s type of persona. That's what I identify with. Just like, don't take anything too seriously. I like the old SNL. I like the like the 90s regular guy type of person. And there just wasn't that available. That was nowhere to be found. There were no groups of people that were like that. It was like, we have this one way to be social, and that is to go to a bar and have hip hop blasted into your ear, and everybody your age just goes along with it and pretends to enjoy all that stuff. I don't know if they're pretending. I don't know. They acted like they were enjoying it. I didn't enjoy it. Like, none of that meant anything to me. If I was, I'm almost like a Gen Xer at heart. Like, I would have been in the crowds with like the Pearl Jam people and like the REM fans, concert goers and stuff like that. But we got up to like the mid 2000s, late 2000s, and everybody became like it just became like one thing. You'll be a truck driving, like, it's such a narrow identity, and they all like look exactly the same and say the same things and act the same exact way. They all drive a truck. They all listen to really stupid hip hop. And just say obnoxious things and get drunk. And challenge each other constantly, and just like, it's like I just avoided all that. I just avoided all of that because I don't enjoy being around those kind of people. I'm not saying they're bad people, but you can just tell that they're living life through like this really narrow lens of, I will party now. I will have a truck now. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but let me see if I can find this. Hold on. What is it called? Murky Water. That means I gotta drive all the way out to Bay St. Louis. Well, at least it'll be $50. I mean, fuck. It's like, there ain't shit in Bay St. Louis. Paste. Okay, thank you. What's today? The 27th? Okay, that's for May. Okay. Keg and barrel? Okay. So anyway, yeah, and then so because I wasn't participating in all that, or at least my participation was very minimal. And I think there's a lot of people like that. I think there's a lot of guys like that. That they've provided one route to get the appropriate, age appropriate experiences of like socializing with people and stuff. Getting those experiences in during that critical time of getting those experiences in. And they've constricted the channel through which that can happen to that it can only happen through this very narrow way of presenting yourself and way of socializing. This very narrow you will go to the loud hip-hop bars with all the other suburbanite kids Like, that just didn't exist before. It was like, there were meaningful things that people participated in. It wasn't just like be loud and obnoxious and drunk and talk about bitches and money as like the one way of socializing. Like, just being in that type of an environment. I get, and then also though I get the point of like, the only way I could see being part of that is by doing it ironically. And just, I think some people coped with it by just being ironic with it and saying, look how stupid all this stuff is, so let's just take it for what it is and be here ironically, sort of. And repeat all these retarded rap lyrics ironically. But really, that's just sort of, that doesn't really cut it. I would more so still just rather not be there. And yeah, and that's why I think that's why, I mean, if you look at statistically nowadays, young men are just totally, they have nothing to identify with. They have nothing that, they're just looking to escape society in general at this point. And it's all connected. It's all part of the same trends that influenced me not being part of that while I was in school. You know, so it's not just me. I'm not just some weirdo who always wanted to be by himself. Like, it's because there's a lack of, you know, anything actually non-retarded to participate in, to enjoy with people my own age. If there was one non-retarded thing I could enjoy with people my own age, I would have done it. But literally everything that was available was super fucking retarded. And I just wasn't gonna be, hey, let's all be retarded over here. Like, no, I'm good, thanks. Well, you're not gonna find anybody. What are you, some kind of weird loner? You're gonna end up alone, bro. Why don't you come over here and scream Little John lyrics with everybody else so you won't be able to end up alone? No, thanks, I'm good. And if I could go back, it's like everybody was really oh, weird. Man, I can't believe how much these are already worn down. I just replaced those frets like not that long ago. It's like everybody was very what's the word? very not anxious, but like they were being so performative to like they were so anxious to exert. You know how young people are, like they just want to look, they want to come off as super confident when they're not. And they're very almost to the point of neuroticism. They're like hyper vigilant about, okay, what is everybody else doing? What is everybody else doing? What is everybody else saying about things? How do I adopt that too and make it look easy and make it look how do I come off as super chill? Even though, I don't know, just everybody was very like vigilant about everybody else. Like very judgy and very just like almost like an anxiety mindset of being so worried all the time about not standing out in a bad way. Like coming off the right way. Oh no. Because there was all these like messaging in the culture of like, it seemed like every week there was like a new word or something that would come out to describe some kind of behavior or person, or basically to just totally be a shorthand way of like ridiculing some like basic human behavior. And it was like constantly pushed out in the culture, like, oh, there's this new word about this type of behavior or that. So I gotta be extra worried that I don't fall into that category. And like I said, it like constricts and constricts and constricts to where nobody's relaxed. Everybody's just worried about how they're coming off all the time. And what else was I saying? But all this goes back to like why, if I could go back in time, I don't know what I would do different. Honestly, I don't know what I would do different. I would probably think that I would probably just in light of how desperate everything is, in order to just survive, in light of the fact that I've spent over 10 years just bouncing between totally retarded jobs, and getting nowhere. In light of that, which I have hindsight, but had I known that it would be that way, I would have had more of an attitude of just like take it for what it is and just go ahead and get with some girl when you're not even really stable at all, and just go ahead and get some girl pregnant when you're young. I mean, it sounds flippant kind of, but honestly, like, we're living in a fucking economic war zone right now. Like, if you're gonna make that part of your life as a living biological thing on Earth, which you should, then don't make that all depend on your ability to win the whole, like, become stable game. Because that game, it really doesn't end. It never, if it ever begins. Oops. See, why was it so... So yeah, you might as well just go just grab somebody and then start it young before there's a chance for all of this all these other considerations to take root in anybody's head. Just when you're young and you're horny constantly, go ahead and get somebody pregnant. Just go ahead and do it. It's not you're not doing yourself any favor by trying to be responsible first. Because guess what? Even if you do become responsible or stable or whatever, by the time that happens, these girls are going to be old. You're going to be older. The girls are going to be older. And they're just going to have even more reasons built up in their head why you're not good enough, basically. You know, it's just going to be that much harder because they're going to think, oh, I'm older and smarter now, so I have all these... Whereas when you're both young, you're both just horny and stupid. And that's the time you want to have kids anyway. You don't want to have kids at 32. You don't want to have kids at 33, 35. I probably won't ever have kids, unfortunately. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I'm going to try to get into coding. I'm trying to finish this thing so I can finally work in coding, but as far as what happens with my life, there's no fucking telling. I'm going to be 33 in a couple months. And yeah, it's just kind of like... It's just like until that happens, until I can actually get into one of these jobs, dating right now is pretty much pointless. You know? As hard as it is, even if you are already stable, it's just gonna be, it's pretty much throw the towel in if you're not even stable. Like, there's no point. And then if you are, I mean, I don't know. Stable is kind of a relative term. I mean, suppose I was even working like as a waiter or something. You know, my best shot would be like some trashy run through single mom with like a sleeve. You know, that would probably be what I could choose from. Which is why I'm trying to get into something that can actually be a career for me, so that that isn't all I have to choose from. Hopefully. You know, I'll probably end up trying to be with somebody a lot younger than I am. Not a lot, but like, by the time I fucking am able to survive on my own without fucking wanting to fucking you know what myself, anybody my age is just going to be so fucked up. I don't know why I'm getting this error. But yeah, I mean, fuck, there's not much you can do nowadays. Like, there's really not much. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, or else go work at McDonald's. That's essentially, there's no middle. You know, or you can do some sort of like, you know, show up high to work every day type of job. And just watch the clock. And I want to do something that's actually like rewarding a little bit, you know, like that isn't easy, but it's not, I don't want to do anything that's easy. I don't want to do anything that's just like entry level. I want to do something that I can be proud to say, I do this. You know, I'm not an egotist. I'm not trying to, I didn't care to be a lawyer. I don't care. I don't need to be known as a lawyer. Or a doctor or something like that. I don't care. I'm not, some people really do. Some people really need that validation like that, but not me. But that being said, I still want to do something that is halfway, you know, impressive is not the right word, but substantial. that is a real career, is a real skill. So it just happens to be that by the time it comes about, any woman my age is probably not even going to be able to have kids anymore. I mean, it's pretty fucking hopeless, I gotta say. It is pretty fucking hopeless. Hate to say it, but and you get up in the morning and you keep trying to change things, and why is it still there? I already committed it. Did you build this site after the changes? I don't have a build script. I just recommitted the site. I'm not using I don't understand. I don't yet have I don't understand, and then committed that change. Yeah, I'm confused. Why the fuck are they still here? That ain't supposed to be how it works. Enlighten me, sir. I don't get it. Yeah, I see that they're still in. Well, next time I'll definitely check the actual repo files, which supposedly got source, index. Are they in here? No, they're not in there. Look at that. They're not in there. Does site... What? The public-facing folders don't get affected. except for when you build. So is that what it is? Yeah, because I see there's a file here I don't even have either that I've taken out. That's fucking weird. So it's in here, actually. I see. I see. So now I need to... I mean, still, it really doesn't make sense, but... Alright, so then I need to make a build script. Build. That's what I need to do? Ah. So run build is what I need to do. Okay. That was weird. Server, okay. So say, so close the server real quick. npm run build. Well, hang on. Right? Hold on. Let me just make double sure. Run build first, then push it. So I'll run build first and then push it. Does that make sense? Is there going to be an error? npm. No. Git status. Nothing. Git commit. Well, first off, let me look. I still see all this stuff. That didn't do it. Wait. Yeah, that didn't do it. Yeah, I don't get it at all now. Refresh. So what the fuck do you have to do to make it reflect what's in your source folder? And let me just look at this again. What the F do you have to do? What did he say? There is something that you are missing. Did you build the site after the changes? Changes still contains that line. What the fuck is it called? 11ty. Boy, this has made it so easy. I'm so glad I have to use 11ty. Not 11ty rocks. 11ty, the actual site. You could say 11ty site. Well, whatever. Configure. Well, no, that's not the case. I just ran build. That didn't do it. Let me see. At least there's a... at least I have something to chase now. There's deployment. Let's see what they say in deployment. Use a build script. See? No. Starter projects. Tutorials. Command line. The problem is it's not being fed into my site folder. It was being fed into there at one point because I have stuff in here. But when I've made a change... Oh, index.lmdy.int. Ah! Hold up. Hold up. We don't need that. What is this? Why do I have two files? What the fuck is this? Take this out. I don't know what this is, but it's also in my regular index.js, which doesn't make sense, but... I took that file out, so then when I saved, it should have updated the site folder to not include that file anymore. But the site folder is not getting updated at all anymore. And I don't understand why. Deployment. Build. So there's a build script. When deploying your Levity site, the goal is to provide your chosen host with your product's build output, the site folder. The command you run is you configure view to build script in your package.json. Okay. What about before that? What about the start let me make sure input output's written correctly. Hold on. Not there, here. Input output. Where's input output? Input is source, which is this folder. Which is this folder. And output is site, which is this folder. And when I run this script, do I need to put... Even running the build script doesn't do it. I thought running the build script would do it. Hold on. Running the build script. Okay, so that's the next thing to look at. Running the build script is not updating my site folder. But even running the start script should have been updating my site folder. And it's not. Okay, yeah, I mean, there's like this panic, I guess you're supposed to have, of just like, oh God, I better just get my shit together. I'll just do whatever I have to do. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed. And I don't think I have that. I don't think I have that. I think I just exist, and I'm gonna give it a good effort. And if nothing ever works out, so be it. That was just what this life was. So that's just what it is. Like, what can I do? Maybe the next go around I won't be in a giant capitalist Jewish simulation world. You know, maybe I'll actually be in sort of a functional less corrupted world. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep trying to do this. Alright, so it's the build script. Where was I at? Authors, deployment, starter projects. And there's a lot of people that don't give as much of a shit as I give. Like, there are plenty of people out there that just totally did not take anything seriously and just decided to shoot from the hip, basically. And you know, I think a lot of life is just what happens to you happens to you. And no matter how you want things to work out, really doesn't have much to do with it at all. I mean, you can shoot for goals and try to accomplish them, and that's all well and good. But what's going to happen to you is sort of, you know, not to be like a defeatist or whatever, but like, you know, there's plenty of people that ended up in excellent positions in life who really didn't, that really wasn't backed up by a comparable level of effort and concern and effort to make that happen, basically. It just sort of happened. They took advantage of something that was there in front of them, and that was just sort of a luck of fate kind of thing. And that is not what has happened in my life. the more I have cared, the worse things have gotten. So I'm now at the point of not being totally detached, but sort of just calmly admiring the destruction. While I continue to make efforts, I do continue to make efforts, but I mean, fuck, I've taught myself a good bit of computer coding, computer programming in the last 2 years, so that's something. I am putting in effort. It's just I don't expect a lot. I just don't expect a lot anymore. Because I just don't. Nothing I have put effort towards has ever resulted in the outcome that was promised. And so I just chalk it up to fate. And whatever life wants to have for me, it'll have for me, and hopefully it won't get too bad, is basically my attitude at this point. But in the meantime, I'm just going to be this like semi-psychotic, I'm just going to keep pushing forward almost in like a zombified protest. To try to make something decent happen in my life. But I'm not going to get anxiety over it like I did in law school and for everything else. I'm not going to like go, oh God, let's make this happen. Oh please, oh please. I'm just going to calmly march forward. And maybe that's what people call faith. Whatever, I guess. Alright, so when you deploy your 11D site, the goal is to provide your chosen host with the project's build output, the site folder. Okay. Well, then some of it's making it through. I'm gonna have to watch another video. It's not working. I just... What's he saying? Tell me what the answer is, guy. You know better than me, that's for sure. Oh, he stopped typing. I'm good. I don't understand. I don't get it. Why is it not working? But also, I'm not going to get high. Because that's not a good thing either. You know. Yeah, I know. Why doesn't the build make it change? I know that that's the one that's showing up. Oh, really don't get it? What is that? Sites assets. Why the fuck does it not work? Do I need to change this? I mean, there's that, but I got rid of that file. He's saying something else now. I just ran build in my site folders. I'm just gonna have to watch another tutorial and see what I see different. This guy's good.
Well, everybody who wrote me back, whether in the comment section or privately.
This is me in 20 years.
What would you like to see from this channel? Thanks for your responses. What I learned from your responses is that
sometimes with GitHub it can take a few minutes to have the changes affected.
But you know, I guess that's just the way it is. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just I had people
I've made
diametrically opposed.
From what I understood.
Counsel with regard to how to proceed with whatever the hell this is, this YouTube channel. I had people telling me, you know, cool with the conspiracy stuff, that gets old, and I had other people saying, no, you need to give more conspiracy stuff, man. I had people saying, you know, I really like your book reviews and your movie reviews. Those are really, really special. You should go back to that. I think that you should stick with that. And, you know, I had other people say, well, I really like everything except when you review a movie or a book that I haven't read or haven't seen, or I don't really care about that. So again, diametrically opposed advice or opinions or counsel.
But it definitely hasn't been doing
that. But I mean, I was asking what people wanted, so I'm not dogging anybody for your responses. I'm just saying it was curious to me. It was interesting to me how there didn't seem to be any clear, you know, advice to go one way or the other, and in fact there was diametrically opposed takes. So I think the solution is to just keep doing what I'm doing, to just keep on going rudderless as I've been all up to this point, and to cover whatever I think you know is interesting to cover. I will say that I think I'm going to try to find a way to get around having to talk about what's in the news as much as I can. Now, sometimes I do cover news stories. The times when I cover news stories are when I feel like there's something to be gained from it. When I find that either something amusing or something that I don't know, just calls out for a particular kind of insight that I haven't heard elsewhere.
Okay, 11Y, set up.
This is my insight, you know.
How to prepare for the changing world order.
Most of the time, if it's just like, you know,
there's gonna be a point,
you know,
and I'm not advocating violence.
Again.
I would never do such a thing.
You know, another.
But I'm telling you now, that will be the only thing.
Has been purged.
Because we're not as smart as Germany was in 1930s. We don't have a
there's something about
homogenous society like that can all use their brains and vote and
It's like
put somebody in office.
it's a
well,
game.
we don't even have a real
way-
democracy.
You got to stay one step ahead of.
And what's the only recourse when you don't even have a
That's
real form of
demoralizing,
government
and it's
available
like
to use?
I'm not sure what
Might.
metaphor to use.
And that's the
wanna say
only
whack-a-mole,
way.
but it's
So
not like
eventually,
whack-a-mole. It's like
there's
it's
going to
like
have to be a
whack-a-mole if you're
point.
mole.
What they want to do is break everything down
You're the
enough
whacker.
to where even
You gotta.
to where there's not enough of a force
I would
available
say
to
my
us left
one,
to make a violent revolution
the
happen.
one thing that I want to do
But
is to,
that is what it's going to have to come down
is
to
to
at some point.
prevent my own demoralization and to prevent the demoralization of others. That doesn't mean.
And I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. You can
Sunshine and
have a
rainbows, obviously,
family and
you
all
can't
that and think
do
that, oh, you're just talking nonsense.
You know. Yes,
No, this is the
yes,
real
everything
world.
is
This is
terrible,
really what it
everybody knows
is.
But I don't find it demoralizing.
No, things are actually
to
fine,
acknowledge
'cause-
that. I don't find it demoralizing.
'Cause I'm
to
making an
talk about
income,
that.
see?
It's something that
Well,
has to be addressed.
That's a
And
nice
once it's
thought,
addressed,
but like,
you can
it's coming whether you
find
want to believe it
ways
is
to
or not.
deal. I find.
Anyways, 11DY set
So
up.
I don't.
And I know the
I don't
FBI is
totally
watching
want
me.
to
It's
ignore,
fine.
what's
It's fine.
going on
I don't care.
in the world. I don't want to totally ignore the news cycle, if you will, but I do want to
But we're not going to vote our way out of it, is
discuss
what I'm
things in a
saying.
way that avoids
It's never going to happen by like
that
political
avoids
methods. It's just not at this point. We're
Because
too far
to me, I
gone.
believe that is what they want, what they most ardently want from us.
Folder, so we
Is,
go into public
is our,
modules, and that's just full of stuff you don't. I'm
Is
sorry,
our
okay.
despair.
So it knows that I want to be working out of these files over here, and I already have some HTML files. So watch this. If we just come, let's open up my terminal again.
Okay.
And to open up the terminal, I don't know if I mentioned it before. You just go to View.
This guy
and you
is
go to
such a
Terminal.
fucking
It's right
beta
there, or
male.
you can see
It's
control
fucking
backtick.
infuriating.
If you're on a Mac, it's probably command backtick. And now we can do our npm
And
start.
now we're gonna
Because if
use
you remember, before I
npm.
do that, in my package, we said that the start command or the start script will be 11t serve.
Right.
So npm start, hit return on my keyboard.
And then you get
there we go.
a
It's
local
launched
host.
it locally.
Great.
You also get a little UI. And if you want to check out something on your phone, you just go to that address on your phone. As long as you're on the Wi-Fi, the same local network, it will work. It's fantastic. Now, there will be some things that aren't going to work properly just because of 11t, but we can see at least we have something that's working here. I have a page. I don't even know if the links are going to work right now. They're not, but that's okay. We're going to get all this working as we go through it. Even the CSS is broken. Everything is broken. You might be going, well, why is the CSS broken? And interestingly enough, if we come and look here, if I look in my source folder, I have my all articles, my index, and my individual article. And what 11t has done, if we go into my public folder now,
Hold on, what is he
CSS is
saying?
broken, everything is broken. You might be going,
Oh, okay.
if I look in my source folder, I have my all articles, my index, and my individual article.
This
And
is
what
just
11t
saying
has
how you
done,
have
if
to
we go into my
pass
public folder
in
now, we can actually
the
see that it
CSS.
made an index. And for all those other
Which is
ones,
fine,
it
I already
creates
did that, that's not
arbitrary
the issue.
URLs, so it makes like an index within the folder. So, it just means that you don't have an extension at the end. Like a .html, you just go to individual article and you'll find that page. But you'll notice it hasn't brought the assets in. It did bring the blog, because the blog has markdown files. So by default, it's taking HTML files, markdown files, other templating languages. It will automatically take those. But what it will not take, and it won't touch, is other things like this assets folder, which has an image in it and images over here. And it did not take the
Right, I
CSS
know
file.
that.
So I actually have to tell 11t to do that. So to be able to change a configuration
Right, that's been
file,
deleted.
we have our 11t.js. That's our
Right. I mean, I'm still using the data.json. I'm just not importing it in. Right, in my. Right, it's. Right, well, that's because. It's just which I don't know why it's not updating it. It updated it at one point, but it's not doing it now.
That, you want to stop this process because you can't update a configuration file. It's not going to change if everything is running. So I'm going to do a Control C, and that says terminate job. I do yes, and now we can clear that, and we're not running anything. It's not watching my files. And I can come in here, and this is why I wanted my 11t config in the first place, is to tell it we do want it to grab a few of the files. We need our CSS, we need our images, and all of that. So to tell, if you ever have things that you need 11t to take and pass through from our source file to our public folder that it's not doing by default, we have to tell it to do that. So to be able to do that, we do 11t config dot add pass through copy, like this with the camel case.
He knows how to do all this because he knows how to read the documents and what they mean. I read the documents and I don't get any of it.
And we want our CSS.
I mean, I understand some stuff, very light
like that. Make sure you have a semicolon at the end here, and then we can do another one. 11t config dot add.
Yes, that file hasn't been updated for a week. We're checking some settings you might have done. Yeah, I know.
You can actually tell it, you can use globbing here too if you find it a little bit easier, but I'm also going to tell it to grab my assets. So it's just going to go and find in my source my assets.
It's something to do with 11Ts.
So just by including the folder, you don't have to say every single file because that would be a nightmare. So if we do that and I hit save, and now we do an npm start. Once again, so it should do it. It's going to rebuild all my public folder, and now we can go and check it out. And now, hey, look, my images are working because they're being passed through. And this first image worked because I think I had an on-splash image there, but these ones weren't coming through before. So now those images are coming through, and the links still won't work just because of how we set things up, but at least my images are coming through and my CSS is coming through. We have a layout that is working now. So first step is done.
Well, then I'll do that, I guess.
To get to that endpoint are now going there. So that's already kind of nice, but now we do need to start turning this into a template instead of a static HTML file. Because the reason we want to do that is if you had an actual blog that was like this, and say right now I have some featured articles.
Who said this? Did Grace say that?
So when we looked at that page, we saw those featured articles, and I don't want to have to come into there and say, okay, I'm updating my featured article, so I'm going to delete this one from here, and then I'm going to change this to another article, and I have to do this all through like the hard copy. Oh my goodness, that would be an absolute nightmare.
Oh my goodness.
What guy talks like that?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hard coded in
What kind of guy talks like that?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Who trained you to speak that way? Alright, well then I'll just...
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious, you guys.
Bro, you're killing me over here. Well, then I'll just do that. Just delete the fucking thing. Delete. Move to trash. When all else fails, just fucking delete it. empty trash because I don't want any kind of. I mean, I just do that to do that. I don't really understand what I'm doing. Okay. Now we're gonna stop the server again and then restart it and see what happens. We're gonna run this script right here called start. And that looks to the 11dy thing here and looks to your source folder and outputs everything in a site folder, which I've just deleted. I just deleted the site folder. So let's try it. npm run start. Did it create a site folder? Let's check. It created a site folder. But it only has that in it. Even though I've put all this stuff in here, it's probably all fucked up.
What if I run it again? No, that's not the answer. Hold on. Ugh.
I love 11dy. It's working so well. I'm so glad I couldn't just use JavaScript. It's just making everything so much easier. Great tool. What time is it? Is it already 10? It's 10:30. Whew, brother. Index.js. You know, and it's like, at some point you gotta think, like, are you willing to spend the next 40, 50 years tinkering like this? Is there going to be any reward from it? Is this the entirety of all that you will be able to get in life? Is this going to be literally the only thing your life is consumed with? Is this stuff? This tinkering for start the clock, like just keep looking at this computer screen until your heart stops? Oh no, that's cynical. That's just cynical. No, that's a very real possibility. So why is that worth it? Tell me why that's worth it when there's nothing else in life that is available to give your life any fucking meaning. You know, we talk about political revolution. Well, this is the type of situation that leads to it. This is the exact type of situation where you have a wide swath of guys that are just trying to figure out a way to survive
who are basically just all being thrown away. And we're supposed to just calmly sit here and cross our fingers, keep crossing our fingers, and not do anything? Not do anything? Is that really what we're expected? To just... No. Keep sitting there and keep looking at the screen. Yeah, but what about a wife? What about kids? What about... No. Shut up. Just keep sitting there. Just keep... Or keep working whatever that stupid job is. Keep washing those dishes. Greatest country in the world. Just keep going. No. Keep your head down. Yeah, but now I'm turning 35. Wait, then nothing's Wait, hold on. I've been cooperating this whole time. No. Shut up. You need to just Wait. Here, watch another Jordan Peterson video. I'm just saying. Fucking society does not work. It's totally broken. Literally nothing works. Literally nothing fucking works. It all broke. It's all broken at this point. It is all broken. It doesn't function at all. This is the point where we have to flip over to a new thing that will work. And, the time is here. The time is now. It's not a, it's all already been, all of the justification is there. It's no longer one day if things get really bad. No, it's here. Nobody's having kids. Nobody's getting married. Society has shut down, has stopped functioning. The only reason it still looks like it functions is because the baby boomers are still around. And for them, they're riding out the rest of their tenure and still getting paid and they were able to make money and make houses and all that stuff. But for the people under them, none of that happened. And I'm speaking in generalities. I'm not saying no one, never, ever, no one. It has happened for some people, but for the vast majority and even increasing majority as you get later and later generations like Gen Z, yeah, it's just not happening. This system is not working. And you can continue to cross your fingers and learn more little skills and do all this shit. But this is not the way to do it. This is not going to be enough. At this point, you should really have one foot in the current system and one foot ready for whatever is going to happen next. So it's bubbling. It's coming. But anyways, it's kind of a joke because it's kind of like sit back and watch the show. Like, what the fuck new thing's gonna happen now? They already stole the election. They already, like, got rid of any pretense of this being a real system in the first place. So, what's the show gonna bring next? What's the next little thing they're gonna pull out of their ass and give us on TV? What's it gonna be next? Another COVID? Go ahead, make us wear masks again. Go ahead. I fucking dare you. And you can call me schizo. I don't fucking care. I'm right. I am right. I'm right. It's a good thing when you're on the side of truth. It's a good thing. God appreciates that. Alright, how do I figure this out? So, I ran that again. And I have all of these things. So I'm passing in that. And the SVGs are working, so I guess that means that got passed through. Let me think. Hold on. Right, this config thing. So it accessed it because they appeared. And if I go to my JS here, or no, not JS, it happened in index. Hold on, let me find it. Where did my index go? This, no, this. See? It grabbed the logo sprite, which was imported here by this plugin, and it spit out a sprite folder, a sprite file, like it was supposed to, here, right? And then guess what happened? Over here, not JS, over here, I got the sprite file, and then I inserted the sprites, the SVGs, which are there, and they worked. So therefore, I know and it had to find it from source assets location. It had to find it from there. But it's giving me errors like it can't find it, even though it gave me them. Build it when you need it. What does that mean? Site shouldn't be in the repo. So git ignore site. I don't know what you mean. This is a totally different issue. I don't understand what you mean by that. Sites should not be in the repo? I don't know what the frick that means. Okay, these errors. Desktop sprite. Mobile sprite, location sprite. Assets, desktop, background pattern, header. Watson likes to just go in and out of that door. Desktop sprite. I don't need this open. I don't need that open. Okay. So you have assets here which have that in it. Desktop sprite. Which is this. I can just delete my sprites folder, honestly. I can just delete that because I have another way of making sprites. So I'm not even using these. I'm not even using that folder. Let me see what it says. I got desktop, then it says mobile is fucked up. And then it says location is fucked up. So let's see, desktop, location, logos, mobile, tablet. Desktop, mobile, location. And then it's having a problem with background pattern, header, SVG. Assets, desktop, it's having a problem with that. It's even telling me it can't find index.js, which I've made a thing for it here. And it's in that folder. It's not in source. 11 team. Oh, maybe it is in source. Hold on. It is in source. Maybe that's why. Hold on. Here's that. I meant to say source. Yeah. Like that. You need to add source to these. All that stuff exists inside of source. Including the CSS, but the CSS looks like it's getting applied. Because this does the CSS, this finds it on its own. Okay, well that's fine. That's why you don't need to say it here. Okay. We'll say this. Then we will I think all I need to do now is just rerun the script. And then it'll add those things now that it has a proper path to it. So npm run start. Hit refresh. Location diag is not defined. Location diag. JS50. Oh, right, because I took all that away too. This all has to do with the alley dialogue stuff. The reason that's not defined is because I got rid of it because this thing assets. Hold on. We don't need that. We don't need that. We can get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's just get rid of it. It's causing errors. The JS error I can deal with, but we don't need these errors. So let's get rid of this. Assets. This whole sprites folder. Get rid of it. It's pointless. You don't need it. You're using the move to trash. Right. Move to trash, baby. Throw it all away. Okay. Now it's gone. So if I rerun the script again, is it going to say it's still looking for it? Yeah, it's still going to say it's looking for it for some fucking reason. Why is it still looking for it? Hmm. Is it because of this? This won't even be used. This is not even going to be used. That's not even going to be used. So you could erase all this shit. There may be something else I do with that, but I know I'm not going to be using this. I don't really understand why it's still looking for these. Maybe I just need to go into my JS and just make a whole bunch of changes. Alright, so I've deleted Ally Dialog. Basically, I'm going to have to delete a whole shit ton of JS. I don't care about that. See, but I need this stuff, though. Like, I do need that, don't I? I took this away because, so I gotta, it's called a dialogue. And now I'm just gonna have to manually make a dialogue box. I'm just gonna make one. Right? And it's gonna exist separately. Okay, and what it's going to do is and then also I have a class called hide. So it's also going to have the class hide on it. And what's going to happen is, well, let me just build it first, I guess. Dialog overlay. Right. We can call it that. It's just not going to have this on it. Copy. It's just not going to have this on it because we're not using that anymore. Okay. So that'll exist. Okay, and then the next thing it'll have the actual dialogue will be this. Let me just grab this. Hold on, filter. It's this whole thing here. Copy. And it's not gonna have this in it. Make sure. Because some of this stuff I will continue to use, and some of this stuff I will not continue to use. Okay, so all right, so that's that. It's like the most painstaking fucking way to do all of this. Because now I'm not just building from the beginning, I'm like going in and rebuilding everything. So let's go to a dialog container again. Is that still selected? All right, good. What else? What else did I unselect? Location dialog. Which is, where is it? Where's location dialog? Location dialog. Location SVG. Filter container top. There's the SVG. Where is location dialog? Do I not have that anymore? Oh, wait. It's called filter search dialog. Filter search dialog. Correct. So that's there. Put that back. Checkbox, filter, checkbox dialog. Filter. Checkbox dialog is this. Okay. Great. Hit save. Hit save. Now it's all hidden. It's not in the page. You can't see it. JS 242. Two, 4, 2. Yeah, we're not doing this anymore either. Where was add cards? Yeah, I need to refresh my memory about how I was doing this. Yeah, add cards would be the first thing that would run. Let me see how I was doing that. Okay, jobs array. And the jobs array I would get, that I would use, is jobs. So what is jobs? Let me search jobs. Okay, well, what the fuck? Where did jobs get defined at? Because I'm passing it in right here in jobs array, add card jobs. So here there's already a jobs created somewhere. So maybe jobs equals. There's full-time jobs equals. Or what about equals jobs? Hold on. I'm trying to remember what I even did. Because now that we're finally back to the JavaScript. Maybe there was another thing they got. There's somewhere where jobs gets assigned a value. And I'm trying to find where that happened. because here it already has a value. Initial page load run add cards with all jobs in jobs array. Where is the jobs array at? Do I sign it in here? Like, where does the word jobs get equated to something? Just doesn't make any sense. It's only showing that and that. It must have been something I deleted already. Ah, it was that import statement. That's what it was, which I think I can use require to get back. That's what it was. So you'd say constant jobs equals require the fuck is that noise? All right. Yeah. Okay, and then suppose I do that. Where's add cards? Is that add cards? Okay. The only thing is, I'm adding them by doing that. Oh, that's the modal. Hold on. By doing this. And so it's like, they're going to get added using that. Okay, and that is working. They are being added. So I don't need to create a separate JavaScript function to make that happen over here in JavaScript, because it's happening with the for loop right there. So if it's happening with the for loop, and that's just upon initial loading of the page. So background pattern header. What does that mean? Background pattern header. Assets, desktop, background pattern header, assets. Background pattern header, background pattern header. What is this? So I need to include, hold on, let me include that over here too. Well, that's sort of a different issue. Although I would like to get that working. Because I reference it in the CSS. This header. Let's go to the CSS for header. Background image. This. And I had it there, and then, you know, as the anyways, what does the error say? It says desktop. Does it change when I do this? Tablet. Yeah, it does change. Okay. Background header mobile. But it's the same shit. I bet you anything it's in the HTML. Hold on. God damn it, computer. Header. Go to header. Well, actually open up base header. That's where it's at. Where is header base? Includes. Header. this part. Where is it? That's that. It is. Do I even have those in here anymore? No, I don't. So I gotta fix all these sprites for the actual header.